I'm happy today. Paul Fey is with us from Leipzig, Germany. Paul Fey has a YouTube channel. I bet a lot of you have probably watched him. If you haven't, there's a link to it. So
Very good.
up in the corner. And you not only are an organist, you're a composer.
Yeah.
I have purchased some of your music and played
Thank
it,
you
so
very
it's
much.
wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll link to your store as well. But today, you're getting ready for a recital this week.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to be here at the Memorial Hall and to play this wonderful organ actually, because it's my first American-German mixture organ, you know. It's a large mixture of every style.
Okay.
And yeah.
Well, I want to just kind of work through and see what you think. You're getting ready to play a Bach piece. I want to see how you're setting this up.
Well,
tell
I
me
can
what,
show you if you
tell me
like.
what registrations you found on this
Yeah,
instrument.
well, first thing is that this is a romantic organ to start with. So we have to figure out some registrations which could work for Bach as well. So I'm actually playing the Prelude and Fugue in D major, so a very fast piece, so to say. And well, for the first part with the pedal scales and all the funky stuff, I decided to use the great plenum on the great manual, and also use the Positiv stops, which are very bright and shiny, and couple them to the great as well.
So, you've got two,
So it gets very shiny, as you will hear.
Yeah.
And in the pedal, it's just 16/8 foot, and the basson, which is very gentle.
That basson, yeah, it's interesting because it's dark and growly, but it's not real big.
Yeah.
It just adds a little.
Actually,
rumble.
it's much less intrusive than the bombard,
Yeah, right.
which is very loud. And yeah, that's the first part of the piece, basically the bright and shiny sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the second part in F sharp minor, I think it is, I've decided to go for a more French registration and basically adding the trumpet in the great and the 32 foot.
So now we're bringing on the big reeds.
Yeah, we'll hear that very soon. So.
Should we just just the comparison? Hold a chord and then
Yeah,
add the
if I'm
trumpets?
allowed to,
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
love to. So the first part basically is like that. So very, very gentle, very bright. For the second part, I'm going with. Oh, sorry, wrong one. So that's much more of a French approach to the piece.
Much more in your face then.
Yeah, I mean it's an early piece from Bach, so you can be a bit playful, at least in my opinion. And this ends with the large chord in chip in D major. And then the piece basically continues with a more joyful and playful approach with the. So
You've taken off the mixtures now from the great.
Yeah, exactly. So I've actually chosen the 8 foot and 4 foot and 2 foot stops and just added the Positiv stops.
The bright stops from the,
The
Positiv.
bright
I
stops.
should say you haven't even used the swell yet at this point.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah,
That's
you're
true.
just
I
using
think I'm
the-
not even using it for the piece.
Doesn't even show up in this piece at all. Okay.
So that's the middle part of the piece, and it slowly develops, and then we get the mighty adagio, which we all know from movies and stuff. So that's basically another French section of the piece. So I've got a small crescendo set up, and then I'm basically using the first or second registration with the trumpets as well.
Back to the
And
loud.
the contrabombard.
Okay. And that takes you all the way to the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the piece ends very loudly, and should be a great opener for the concert.
I think so. It's interesting to see how people come in. I mean, you have to, if you're going to be a concert organist, you've got to come in and quickly figure out everything
Yep.
about the instrument. I get to sit back and watch people do that, so it's fun to see how, what colors you found and what you've chosen, and how we get to this distinctive sound. So I can't wait to hear the whole piece.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy that.
Remember, you can find Paul Fey's channel on YouTube, so we'll link to that. Give him a watch because he's got a lot of great videos coming
Thank
out
you
all the
very
time.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's go inside. I think one of the coolest things about an organ tour here is how to get in. I call it the Captain Nemo moment, like boarding the submarine. Let's go aboard. So we're here in the base of the organ. All of the structure was new from when the organ was installed here. Here we have the old Aeolian-Skinner combination action from 1947. It was only one level of memory. Now, in the 20th century, we now have a multi-level solid-state combination action. But this has been kept here for historical purposes. So what I like to do is start from the top down. So follow me. Oh, before we do that, this is the pedal 16-foot bassoon. It is one of 3 free reed stops on the organ. See, the tongue, like a harmonica tongue, goes through the shallot plate. And it's tuned by, we have this long, almost like a skate key for those of you who are old enough to remember what a skate key was. And it through threaded and it regulates this up or down to change the vibrating length of the tongue. Over here in the corner, that is those are against the wall, those tapered pipes. Those are the pipes of the 32-foot contra bombard, and that is the 32-foot free reed. That's from the Walcker, just the 16-foot. But there are 3 free reeds in this organ from Walcker: the pedal 16-foot bassoon, the pedal 32-foot contra bombard, and then the 4-foot thing's called regale in the choir. Okay. So here we are on top of the choir box, the top of the world in the organ, so to speak. I call this the money shot. You can see below, in the center, there are the 2 chests of the grate. To the left, behind the expression louvers, is the swell division. We are standing on the choir box, and then just beyond the end of the grate at the wind chest at 90 degrees is the Positiv division. And then beyond that, on the outer walls on each side, are the pedal pipes. In the back corner, you can see the largest notes of the C-sharp side resonators of the 32-foot contra bombard. That's the pedal mixture, and the back rank is the pedal tierce. That chest and pipes were added by Aeolian-Skinner in the 1940s. They put it in the only available space, which was up high on the wall, which means that the mixture is rather prominent in the pedal. As you can see, there are catwalks and ladders for reaching everything. This is the pneumatic whiffletree swell engine for the swell shutters. Everybody asks about the pipes in the large towers, if they speak, and the answer is yes. They are 6 notes of the pedal 32-foot principle starting at F. So in those 2 towers, you have F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and A sharp. Now the low 5 notes are of wood, and the other pipes from B up are open wood also. So on this side, you have 3 pipes here in the corner. You have one in the tower, in that outside tower. That is low C of the pedal 32-foot, and then you have low D and E. And then F is tin and in the facade. And on the other side is next to the tower, C sharp and D. All of the pipes in the facade are speaking except the center 5 pipes, which as you can see are just half-round wood dummies with a tin covering, and then the pipes in the outermost towers. And there's even a ladder for reaching the pipes in the towers for tuning. You can see that the back wall decoration is just as elaborate. It's the same as at the other end of the hall. The S facades, and the figures, the man and the woman seated like that, they're loosely modeled after the figures of dawn and dusk on one of the Medici tombs in Florence. But he's adapted them with musical instruments. So this building was originally called Serlo Hall. So you see they have harps and they have horns, and the S for Searles, or Serlo. So this is the choir box, and here to the left are the 3 choir reeds. From the left to right, there's the 8-foot clarinet, the 4-foot regale. That was that's the 3rd free reed. That was probably originally at 8-foot pitch, and then the 16-foot vox humana. It was originally at 8, but Harrison wanted to read chorus, so you had a vox. The clarinet was originally a crumhorn, but that's been moved, and that's so 16, 8, and 4 is the Baroque reeds, so to speak. So here we are with the wind system. There are 4 gigantic double-rise reservoirs, which provide very steady wind. And this one is interesting because by these steel bars at each end, it is ganged with the reservoir above. So it's 2 reservoirs that operate in tandem. Over here, we have the 1909 stop list of the organ because there's a fixed combinations. that could be set from inside. So this was the 1909 specifications. Here's the C-sharp pedal slider chest. And here's a chromatic slider chest. Again, this is from 1909. And this is some of the pedal upper work. There's the 2-foot Rorschalmai that was put in by Aeolian-Skinner. And then the 4-foot Clarion. Now this has bells on it, and all the Walcker trumpets were belled like that, but few of them survived. And then behind that is so this is the 4-foot Clarion, and then the 8-foot pedal trumpet. The 16-foot reed is on another chest. Let's go up to the great and Positiv. So I'm standing here between the great and the Positiv. This is the Positiv chest. This is the 8-foot crumhorn that was originally installed in the choir by Aeolian-Skinner. But some years ago, it was moved to the Positiv to a blank toe board, and an Aeolian-Skinner clarinet was put in its place in the choir, which was more suitable for enclosed division. And the crumhorn is more suitable here on the Positiv. And here are 2 Winchests of the Great Division. I'm standing here between the 2 great Winchests, and boy, do I feel great. Of note is that the reeds, here we have the 8-foot trumpet, the 4-foot Clarion, and here is the 16-foot trumpet. These were added by Andover in the 1970s, I believe, because the great reeds were missing when Aeolian-Skinner got to the organ in 1946, and Donald Harrison's predilection was for a reedless great. So we kept these toe boards empty, and instead, in place of one of the strings, put a septième to go with the cornet. So you had a cornet to give the reedy sound to the great. But in the 1970s, the trustees felt that the great should have some reeds. So Andover put in these 16, 8, and 4-foot reeds. Some years ago, it was also felt that there should be a gamba on the great. So a gamba was reinstalled on the great where the septième was. The septième was retired to a storage closet. Let's now go into the swell box. Here we are in the swell division. Notable thing is all the reeds here, the 8-foot oboe, the 4-foot Clarion, the 8-foot trumpet, and at the far end, the 16-foot Facade. These were all installed by Aeolian-Skinner. Aeolian-Skinner made some tonal changes to the swell, as well as the other divisions. Here we have one of the original Walcker pipes. It's now the swell 2-foot octave. Everything was rescaled, so this pipe was originally C and now speaks C sharp. You can tell which are the Walcker pipes because they have Roman mouths that are quite beautiful. Instead of the pointed bay leaf mouth or just flattened and pressed mouth that many modern pipes have, they're all beautifully scribed, flattened, and stamped. So this organ is now pitched at A40, 435, and therein lies the tale. When it was originally built, it was pitched at A40, 435, which was veering towards being the international concert pitch. But the bands and ensembles in Boston and their instruments were pitched at A450. So all of the pipes were cut down to sharpen them and bring them to the A450 pitch. When the organ was rebuilt by the Methuen Organ Company for the hall, it was decided to return it to A435. But rather than adding extensions to every pipe, all the flue pipes were shifted up one note and a new low C added. Okay. So this concludes our tour of the insides of the great organ. We hope you enjoyed it.
If you want to learn more about this instrument, Barbara Owen has written a fantastic book
Yes.
that has the complete history and story of this, and it's kind of an amazing story of how this organ is still here and playing today.
It's called The Great Organ at Methuen.
We'll put a link down in the description so you can find a copy for yourself. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Methuen Memorial Hall organ here in Methuen, Massachusetts, about 30 miles north of Boston. There is a concert series here during the summer, and there's information about that down in the description below if you'd like to come hear this organ. They also stream their concerts online, and there's information about obtaining access to those. My thanks to Matthew Bellocchio, Frederick MacArthur, and to Justin Murphy-Mancini, who played some for us today. This has been a fantastic trip here. I also have to thank all of our sponsors who made it possible for us to come to Massachusetts and see this organ. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Organ Media Foundation and help us get out to wonderful places like these and bring them to you, you can do that by going to organ.media and clicking on support. Remember, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so any contributions to us can be tax deductible on your end. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel and click the bell for notifications, as we do have more videos coming out. I think we might even have some more from up here. So make sure you're watching. Until the next video comes out, though, remember, you can find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations, organlive.com, Positively Baroque, and The Organ Experience, where we have recordings of this organ, including a brand new album that just came out by Angela Kraft Cross. There's a link down to that if you'd like to find out more information about that in the description. Again, thank you to all of you who've made this possible. I've had a great time visiting this wonderful organ, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson. Thank you for watching.
These are all the Walcker pipes. Present-day full organ is